Hey everybody, it's Joyce and I'm back with another little show and tell. Today I am showing you my little ATC mini. I followed Alexandra M's tutorial, so I will try to remember to include the link to the tutorial in the description. So for the outside I used well, first of all, you know me, I got to make a demo for everything. So this, I used some scrap papers that I had from an old KaiserCraft collection. It was called 75 cents, and I think this paper line is about 4 or 5 years old, and I'm not really sure if you'll be able to find it. You may be able to, but try eBay. So I used that. The back is the same. The doily, this is a cherry Lynn doily. It's called French Pastry. Then I used my 2.5-inch circle punch to cut the center and cut them both in half, and I used, you know, half for the front and half for the back. Everything is inked in Tim Holtz Distress Vintage Photo. This little clasp I got from Joann's. I think other manufacturers make them as well, but this one is from Joann's. And then I used a little bit of gold because it was more of a bronzy gold. So, and I wanted it a little bit brighter, so I took my fingers and put a little bit of gold. Like, you can use some rub and buff to do that. These little strips are those little sticky strips that you get. I don't know what they're called, but that's what I used around the edges on the front and on the back. And then these little gold pearls, these are from Mark Richards. I got them from Hobby Lobby years ago, so they probably still have them, but it's probably their own brand now. On the side, I used some Joann's faux suede paper. And then this little charm is from Michael's, the $1.50 bend. And then this is a Tim Holtz. This is a ring fastener, and not to be confused with a fluted fastener, because he has those as well. And then on the band, I use some more of the Joann's faux suede paper. And so let's get to the inside. Oh, I will tell you on these little embellishments, the pearled embellishments, they are self-sticking. However, with handling, they will pop off. So I ended up using some E6000 to get those on. And I also adhered this class with E6000 as well, because I wanted to make sure that it stayed on. In the inside, I left mine pretty plain. I think she has a cute little belly band going across here where you can tuck something else in there. The book is ATC size 4 by 4 1/4 by 3 1/4, and the spine is 2 inches wide. There are 6 pages. And all of the pages have the exact same setup. It's different paper. So each page has this little pull-out. And you can do whatever you like. You can put photos or you can journal. My book is going to be for like quotes and Bible verses that I like. I just didn't want to fool with trying to get all these little bitty pictures and all that stuff. So. Okay, so, and I covered the front and the back. I'm not sure if Alexandra covered the front and the back of hers. She may have, but I don't remember. I also used some filler papers, and I'll try to point those out as I go through the book. And then each page has this part where your little pull-out is going to come out. And then each page also has this little card holder here. And these are like little, they look like little business size cards to me. And I covered front and back. Again, I'm not sure if she covered front and back or not. She tells you how to make this pocket, but what I did not see is how to make the matting for the pocket. So If I can, at the end of the video, I will try to tell you what I did. I'm not sure if this is what she did or is this just what I came up with. And I think it worked out pretty good. I think, you know, they're not perfect, but they look even to my eye. Some of the pockets are covered with some of these little cut aparts that came from the 12 by 12 sheets of that paper that I used. I just had a few of those, and so this is what they look like originally. Here's a couple more, and you on each page you got 12 of these little cards, so I used quite a few of them in here as some of the paper. I used this previously, so I didn't have a lot of this. This is one of the filler papers. This is from a Bo Bunny, and I can't remember the name of it, you guys, because I just had scraps of it. This is also Bo Bunny. I do know this is their vintage dots, and I want to say this is espresso or something like that. This is the B side of the paper, and there is, I did use the A side of the paper as well. This is some more Bo Bunny dot paper, but it's not the vintage, it's a different dot. And so that would be the B side of that paper. This is one of those cut out cards from the 12 by 12. So they worked out really good for that. Oh, this is the A paper of that. Where is it? Of this paper. This is the A side, so you can see the vintage dots, and it's got that splash distress look. So I love that. And so each page is the same, so I won't pull all the cards out and all that stuff, but the majority of this paper is the original paper line. Just maybe, I think I used about 4 sheets of Bo Bunny to give me some filler. So I'll go through that. Here's another one of those cutout cards. And then some of them I used, they have some sayings on them already. So this one says, "The way is not in the sky, the way is in the heart." So I thought that was pretty cool. So I just kind of, you know, cut around that to make sure I could get that in there. Oh, sorry about that, folks. Okay, another one of the cutout cards that I use. This is also one of the cutout cards. And I had 2 sheets, so I was able to match up the paper great. And here's some more of those cutout cards that I used. So it came in pretty handy when I needed it. This is also some Bo Bunny filler paper. This is from the Mama Razzi paper pack, and that's pretty old too. Okay, and that's it. It's a really cute little mini, and again, you can put pictures in it. 3 by 4 pictures will fit in here. You even have room to put, like, if you wanted to put some of those little black corners to really give it, to make it stand out a little bit more. And this is my back cover, and I just chose to keep it the same as the front cover, just, you know, let you know what it is, what's going on in there. Okay, so let me go over a couple things that I think I missed maybe in the video, but she may have explained it. So I will just say that much right now. I'm sorry if I'm redoing something. This little part right here is just, I know she explains that this is a 5 by 3 7/8 and then score at 2. And I'm not sure if she explained how to do the mat, but you're going to do the mat the same way. You're going to cut this mat an 1/8 inch smaller than what you're going to have. So you'll cut it an 1/8 inch smaller, and then you'll just crop your corners the way you did. I think she used the ticket and stubs, and I used the clouds and scallops. So just whatever you want to cut it with, or you can leave them just square. You can leave them that way. It's perfectly fine. Okay, so now what I want to show you, I want to show you how I made my mats. Okay, so first thing I got to do is I got to move my scoreboard. So hold on a minute, folks. You're going for a ride. So I'm gonna bring my cutter over because I want to show you the. Oops, sorry, people. Ooh-wee, we got a mess going on here. Okay, I think we're there now. So the first thing I did was measure the entire thing, because I did 1/8 inch borders and you guys may choose to do 1/4 inch. And it's the same concept whether you use 8 inch or 1/4 inch borders. So what I did is I cut my paper that I was going to cover with the exact same size as the pocket itself. And I believe that the pocket, I did have that written down, is 4 inches by 2.5 inches. Okay, so 4 by 2.5. Okay, so I cut it the exact same. This is 4 by 2.5. This is 4 by 2.5. We're just talking about the top part up here. Okay, so then after you do that, she tells you to line up the paper. This is pocket. She's telling you when she's making the pocket. She tells you to line this up at the 2, and then you're going to punch your little divot out. Okay, you're going to do the same thing here. You're going to line up your matte paper at the 2, and then you're going to punch. And so you should have the same thing here. So right now it's going to be the exact same. And so now is when we're going to go ahead and create our 1/8 inch border, or whatever measure border you would like. So let me try to adjust this camera again so that you can see what I'm doing a little bit better. Okay, and I'm going to pull this down a little bit more so you can see. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, this is 4 inches. So I need for this to be 1/8 less than my pocket. So just do what you normally do, but this time you're going to do it to both sides. So if you want an 1/8 inch border, that means 1/16 have to come off each side. So I'm going to take 1/16 off from this side. So you're going to move this little piece of paper down just slightly, and you're going to be at 3 15/16, and then you're just going to chop that little piece off. So it's not real big. So if you're chopping off, this is if you're doing 8s. If you're chopping off more than that, you've already jacked that up. Okay. So next, you're going to move it over another, you're going to flip it around because you've cut off this side already. So you're going to flip it around and you're going to move it down another 1/16. So now, if you're one of those individuals who have to stay with the same increments, then this, you're going to be at 14/16. Or if you're okay with flipping back and forth, you're going to be at 3 7/8. You're going to cut off that 1/16. Okay, so if you put it back up to your little pocket, and you just kind of center it real good, you should be about the same. There we go. You should be about the same, your borders. It's not perfect, but it's eye-pleasing. So because it's not perfect because I don't know what she did, so I just did what I thought. So next we want to show the 1/8 inch border around this lip here and up here, as well as down here. Well, you can't cut this anymore. You don't want to bother this part up here. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to have to take the entire 1/8 from the bottom. So this is 2.5. So what I need to do is move this to 2 3/8. Cut that 8 off there. One moment. Sorry, it should have been prepared, folks. I'm just going to put a little adhesive on here to show. And then I'm going to line this up. And like I said, it's not perfect, but it is eye-pleasing. As long as it's not just crazy. And plus, once you ink it, and I'm just using red and black so it can really show up good for you. But, you know, your pattern paper is going to be distraction also from uneven borders. That's the beauty of using pattern paper. So now, if you can see, it looks like your border is really the way it's supposed to be. So a few adjustments. I just moved it. I used some repositionable, so it's probably moving all over the place. So, and there you have that. So that's what I did. I cut this, I cut my matte paper to the exact same size initially as the pocket. I punched out the divot just like she told you to. And then what I did is I took a 16th off that end, a 16th off of there, and I took a full 1/8 off of there. And that's how I got my mats. And I will show you again. I don't think they look too bad for somebody who didn't know, you know, what the mat was supposed to be in the first place. Wasn't too bad. Okay, so now let me tell you about how I got my measurements for this part. I don't think she told you how to do that either. I don't think she intentionally left this stuff out. I think that she just forgot. Or if it is in there and I missed it, let me just say my apologies right now. But this is what I did. I first took a piece of paper. And folks, I'm so sorry. I had everything laid out and then I just piled everything on top of itself. So I took a piece of paper and I kind of just eyeballed what she did. I blew the picture up, you know, I stopped the frame and blew it out. I was just crazy with it. Okay, so what I came up with was, it looks like she used about 4 inches long piece of paper and 1.5 inches wide. And then what it looks like she did is she scored it at 1 1/4. Then she scored it at 3 1/4. And so this is what you're gonna get. This, I wrote my numbers upside down, so don't worry about that. So this is gonna be where your clasp part will be. I'm sorry, am I too close? And then this will be the bridge. And then this part is going to be attached. So this is your anchor piece, that 1/4. And you're gonna put this down before you put on your papers. So this is how this would go. I'm going to move this down here because it's a little bulky and it might not give you what you need to see. So then what I did to make sure is I stood the book up like it would normally go. And like, you know, in its natural form. And I just did that and it fit very well. So that's how I came up with my numbers. And again, I took a piece of paper that was 4 by 1 1/2. I scored it at 1 1/4, and then I scored it at 3 1/4. Now, again, I wrote my numbers upside down, so just remember, this is your front piece. The larger piece is your back anchor piece. Just remember that. But again, Joyce wrote the numbers upside down. So, and here's another little demo that I did. I'm not sure. This might have been the original one that I was playing with. So, as you can see, this works out pretty good. And this is in its natural form. It's not bulged out, or I don't have it pinched in like that. So this is how it would be. And you can see that works out pretty good. And you want to leave yourself a little bit of room anyway, because I think what some people forget is, you know, we make these books, but you also have to leave room for what you're going to put in. Even like, especially if it's photo paper, I think that might be what is it? Maybe like 1/64 of an inch or 1/28 of an inch or something. But if you get a bunch of those, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna just keep expanding, and it makes your pockets tighter. It puts a lot of stress on the joints of the book and all that other stuff. So you have to leave room for expansion. And so I think that's it. I think those were the only two things that I couldn't remember seeing in the video. So if you have any questions, please feel free to email me. I will put my email, my crafting email, in the description as well. So happy crafting, and I hope you guys give this a try. I plan to make another one. All right, talk to you later. Bye.